The picnic trains were a great source of pride for Duke. People flocked from all over just to see him. The train always ran, come rain, shine, or Duke's state. I mustn't disappoint my friends, he thought, and willed himself on. Later, the picnic train seemed to be heavier. Duke did his best, but the strain was showing. One morning, after a particularly busy weekend, his crew were looking him all over. "Fear not, old boy," soothed the driver. "We'll get you ready for the next picnic train. Mark my words." Duke struggled with his trains that day. "Goodness, I feel so weak," he wheezed. "You must have a leak somewhere," called the driver. When Duke backed into the shed that evening, he found the manager waiting for him, along with a smartly painted engine. "A valiant effort, Duke," smiled the manager, "but now you'll have a much-needed rest." He turned to the new engine. "This is Erna. She'll take your trains while we mend you." "Good day," wheezed Duke. "A pleasure," she replied coyly. "Erna," continued the manager, "tomorrow you'll take Duke's picnic train. He'll explain everything." The manager turned and walked back to his office. "The picnic train," began Duke, "is—" "How quaint," Erna interrupted, "of your manager thinking I need instructions on pulling a train." "I beg your pardon," Duke spluttered. "I've worked on prestigious estate railways and pulled my fair share of coaches before. A little picnic excursion won't be any trouble." "Now you listen," Duke fumed. "Our passengers are to be handled—" Oh, save your steam, old timer," she yawned. "You just rest up and take as long as you need." Duke said no more, but he knew he'd be keeping a watchful eye. The next morning, Erna found the coaches and arrived at the platform with a cheerful whistle. "Where's Duke?" asked a passenger. "Oh, never mind him. I'll be your engine," she replied, expecting adoration. The passengers grumbled. They came to see Duke. The guard and station master did their best to temper their displeasure, while Erna seethed. "I'll show them," she muttered. "They'll forget all about that old fuddy-duddy in no time." They didn't. Erna tore up the line so fast the passengers couldn't get any good pictures. When a request was made to stop the train, she ignored it altogether and carried on to the next station. "I don't understand," she fumed as the passengers complained to the guard. "Why don't they appreciate my picnic train?" "So it's your picnic train now, is it?" In the siding stood Smudger, helping the men clear up one of his usual spills. "That train belongs to Dukey and no one else," he smirked. "They all come just to see him. Soon as he's fixed, he'll have it back, and you'll be kicked to the curb." "Balderdash," she fumed. "I was made for trains like this. I'll be the premier engine on this line soon. You watch." "If you say so," sniggered Smudger. As Erna set off, She couldn't shake Smudge's words from her mind. She had no intention of being sent away. That night, the manager had stern words for her. "May I remind you that the picnic train is not an express," he rumbled. "The passengers did not come for a bumpy ride. I hope the remainder of your time pulling this train does not continue this way." The remainder of her time, the manager had all but confirmed Smudge's remark. Determined to maintain her position, Erna swallowed her pride and asked Duke for help. Duke was in a state. The men were working hard to fix him, but he felt miserable. Copper patches had been bolted to his cylinders to stop steam leaking out. Bits and pieces, even his nameplates, had been taken off so he could be properly examined. The news of Erna's debacle only worsened his mood. "Go slowly," said Duke sternly, "or the passengers won't get good pictures. Stop at the right spots too. The bridge over the stream, the camp by the lake and such." "Of course," she replied, sounding thoroughly unimpressed. "Nothing to it." But the next day was no better. Even with Duke's advice, Erna failed to impress the passengers. They just wanted Duke. To make matters worse, she'd taken Duke's advice too far. She was so slow on the return journey that she arrived late at the harbour. They just managed to stop the steamboat in time. She arrived back at the shed very cross. Duke was asleep, so she was spared a talking to. As she glared at him, she noticed the copper patches on his cylinders. Suddenly, she had a mischievous idea. "Fine," she muttered. "They want that old Patchwork engine. They can have him. It'll be the last time they do." Next morning, Erna was complaining of a pain in her smoke box. "Oh, it hurts something awful," she moaned dramatically. "Now what will we do?" fussed the manager. "I suppose there's Smudge." "Excuse me, sir," interjected Duke, "but I could certainly manage one trip until Erna is better." "Are you sure, Duke?" the manager replied unsteadily. "You really should rest." "Anything for our passengers, sir." The manager beamed. "That's a good engine. Off you go then." From within the shed, Erna watched Duke clank off to the platform. "Have a nice trip," she muttered to herself. The passengers cheered when they saw Duke, and he whistled happily to them. The journey began well. Duke held a steady pace, and the passengers asked to stop enough for him to catch his breath. Soon, they approached the hill. "Careful now, old fella," advised his driver. "Don't push it." I'll be fine," Duke puffed. The copper patches weren't holding like they should have. Duke could feel steam trickling out, and he was starting to lose strength. Go on, us go on, he huffed. The passengers leaned out the windows and cheered him on. Hearing that, Duke was more determined than ever not to disappoint his friends. Almost there, he strained. The steam leaked out harder now. Careful, boy, his driver cautioned. But just when he thought he'd lost all his steam, Duke crested the top of the hill. Hooray! Called the passengers. Well done, old boy, cheered the driver. Duke didn't reply. He huffed and puffed as best as he could to the next station for a well-earned rest. The passengers were anxious when they saw the state of their engine, but Duke smiled and reassured them. The mine engine, who had just finished shunting, buffered up to help Duke and the passengers home. The manager was waiting. Well done, Duke. I should have expected nothing less from you. Now you will be having a well-earned rest. An engineer is coming tomorrow to put you right. Duke smiled thankfully. The manager then turned to Erna. You are a very bad engine. There was nothing wrong with your smoke box. You put Duke in a perilous situation, and I will not tolerate such behaviour. The mine engine shall help with the picnic trains until Duke is mended, and you shall work in the mines until I say otherwise. Erna was shocked. But sir, I don't want to hear it, the manager cut in, as he turned and walked sternly away. Duke was soon being mended. He watched happily as the mine engine took the picnic trains, and the passengers would always lean from the coaches and wish him a quick recovery. And what of Erna? She spent her days at the mines, with only the giggling trucks for company. She grew dirtier with each passing day. Every so often, she took trucks to the harbour and wouldn't say a word to anyone. Clear the lane, teased Smudger. Picnic train coming through. Erna was quite sure she never wanted to see another picnic train again.